It's frankly hard not to think that some Britons may not have fully thought this through, especially when you look at some of the top search terms concerning the EU the next day.
Some of the most Googled questions in the UK since the polls closed last night. What does it mean to leave the EU, and what is the EU?
OK, that is clearly not good. On the list of all-time bad morning after Googles, that's got to be up there with can I get pregnant from mouth stuff and what is a swastika, and also how do you remove a tattoo? And at least one person who voted to leave seems to have buyer's remorse.
I was very disappointed about the results. Even though I voted to leave, this morning I woke up and the reality did actually hit me. But if I had the opportunity to vote again, it would be to stay.
Well, you're actually in luck, because it turns out, incredibly, there is going to be another vote coming up. And it's happening 1 week from... Of course there isn't! That was the fucking vote! It wasn't a practice round! That was it! And as if all this couldn't get any worse, as the full impact of what Britain had just done was sinking in, Donald Trump turned up in Scotland to promote his fucking golf course. And when he was asked about whether he, the presumptive Republican nominee, had any thoughts on the seismic events unfolding in Europe, this was his response.
I think it's going to end up being a great thing. And the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing is your people have taken the country back. And there's something very, very nice about that. And they voted, and it's been peaceful, and it was strong and very contentious. And in many respects, I watched last night. It was a little bit ugly, but it's been an amazing process to watch.
He just said absolutely nothing. Because, let me explain. First, he said a Brexit will end up being great, which it very likely won't. Then he said the word beautiful 3 times. Then he said your people have taken the country back, even though he was in Scotland, which overwhelmingly voted to remain in the EU. Then he said it's been peaceful, which it absolutely hasn't. Then he immediately contradicted himself by saying it's been contentious and ugly. And then he summed the whole thing up as amazing. Now, if he had simply breathed audibly into the microphone, the same amount of information would have been conveyed. And the thing is, later that day, he found a way to make this whole thing about himself, tweeting, "Many people are equating Brexit and what is going on in Great Britain with what is happening in the US. People want their country back." And you might think, well, that is not going to happen to us in America. We're not going to listen to some ridiculously haired buffoon peddling lies and nativism in the hopes of riding a protest vote into power. Well, let Britain tell you, it can happen, and when it does, there are no fucking do-overs.